I told you not to blow up that orphanage!
It's the only way! I had him, and because of your orders, he got away.
You're out of line!
You know what?
What are you doing?
I'm going rogue. What's going on, everybody? JB here for the Boobypooper, doing my first review for Assassin's Creed Rogue. First off, just want to start out by saying that this game will be in comparison to the games, other Assassin's Creed games that are on the same gen as it. Seeing as it was on PS3 and Xbox 360, we'll be comparing it to Black Flag and backwards from there. It will not be compared to Unity because that game was in production forever, and you can tell by the quality. Anyways, that's another review for another day. It seems a little strange at first, but Assassin's Creed Rogues puts you in the shoes of Shay McCormick, a member of the Assassin Brotherhood who eventually turns into a Templar. Seems like a strange story at first, but it is actually quite complex and really interesting. You'll hear this a lot in this review, but it really is a mixture of Assassin's Creed 3 and 4. You'll be returning to areas that you've seen in Assassin's Creed 3 while still remaining true to the gameplay mechanics of 4. So you'll have land and sea, and you'll even get to experience the homestead once again. And with that being said, not only will returning areas be back, but you also get to interact with characters that you already know, such as Adewale and Achilles, and you get to interact with them in a huge way. It's not just a tiny little homage where they walk through and you have a small conversation with them. They are huge parts of the story, and it really wraps it up and makes it very interesting for the player. It's not a must play as far as the story goes. You can go on and play Unity and it still makes sense, but it will make a lot more sense if you played Rogue first. The most interesting thing about the story, though, is that you play as a Templar, which is kind of taboo in the Assassin's Creed universe. You've always seen them as bad guys. However, in Rogue, it does feel like, it does make you sympathize a little bit more with the Templar cause, and kind of makes you begin to question what the Assassins versus Templars is really all about. The gameplay is a lot like Black Flag. It's pretty much Black Flag. So if you played Black Flag, and you're looking for something new as far as the gameplay experience goes, pretty much all the mechanics are exactly the same, with a few little bells and whistles, such as the grenade launcher and the burning oil mechanic for your ship. Your ship gets a few upgrades, but it's pretty much the same thing, which isn't bad. The good thing about it is I didn't feel as pressured to do pirating activities in Rogue as much as I did in Black Flag, because in Black Flag, of course, you played a pirate, and I mean, the option is still there if you loved the naval combat and you loved taking on ships and rummaging and pirating, then that's still there for you and you can still do it, but you don't feel as forced into it in this game, which is really nice for me. I did not care for the naval combat as much as other people did, but other people seem to really like it, and if you liked it, it's still there for you. The ship has a few upgrades, like I mentioned before, the burning oil mechanic, the new guns. It's kind of like a submachine gun for the side of your boat. It's pretty cool. But in this one, you will be piloting the Morgan. It's a brand new ship, it's kind of smaller, but like I said, pillaging's still there. You still get to have a fleet of ships if you want to do that. Everything's still there in a nice package for you. As far as land goes, there is a new mechanic for assassins. Since you are a Templar, you are now hunted by assassins, which is really cool. Like, it's one of my favorite things about Rogue is you're always feeling kind of hunted. And while it is one of my favorite things about it, it can get kind of annoying sometimes.
Oh, come on!
But not only do they hunt you on land, they also hunt you on sea. So they could even board your ship, and then you have to defend your fleet. The free running element is exactly the same. It has no tweaks. There is nothing new about it. It is exactly the same thing you're going to find in Black Flag.
way! No!
Once again, like I said, Black Flag wasn't all that bad, so if you're just looking for more story and don't care much about upgraded game mechanics, Rogue's going to be good for you. Same thing for the combat. They try to pull it off with the sword and knife and try and say that's new, but it's the exact same thing as the dual sabers that Edward Kenway has in Assassin's Creed 4. It is the exact same combat mechanic. The visuals in this game, once again, pretty much the same thing as Black Flag. Even the HUD elements, like the start menus, the animus menus, your life bar, and your mini-map, everything about it is pretty much exactly the same. It's weapon and item select screens. They look exactly the same. What I will say though is that they did manage to make a Templar look pretty cool. Shay looks badass. And this is a feat for them because normally I've never liked anything visually that a Templar has ever been. Like in Black Flag, you did all these missions to get this Templar armor, right? And after doing all of these missions, you finally unlock it, and when I unlocked it, I was really disappointed because it was ugly. I didn't want to wear it. It was gross. There were a few minor glitches, which whenever you pump out a game a year, that is going to happen, right? So there were a few glitches. There was a time I kicked this guy on a roof, and then he just flew off into space. There was plenty of ragdolling to go around. And one time, my first mate on the Morgan just decided that he was going to fly 6 feet off the ground for like 3 hours. I couldn't get him down. I don't know what was going on.
That ship looks like she's carrying some mighty fine cargo, Captain. Indeed she does! What are you doing?
However, there is nothing game-breaking about these glitches. In fact, in a way, they kind of add to it. It's just funny to see, as long as it doesn't break your game, it's kind of funny to see glitches sometimes. Overall, this game, it feels more like a DLC than an actual standalone Assassin's Creed game. It plays off of Assassin's Creed 4 a lot. It's pretty much like Assassin's Creed 4, like it's a DLC, is what it feels like. But that being said, it is very good for what it is. It's definitely a side project. You can still get quite a few hours of enjoyment out of it. It is kind of short. So don't be expecting too much, and without any multiplayer, it kind of, you know, does its own thing. But it does have a good story, and it is really interesting to see how the American trilogy kind of wraps up and see what happens to Adewale and Achilles, and it kind of makes things make sense a little more even before jumping into Unity. And so if you haven't played Unity yet, I would recommend playing Rogue before jumping into Unity if you have time. A good game, nothing game changing, nothing really stands out. I'll even probably forget about it in a few years, but good play. I hope you enjoyed it. If you haven't seen the actual playthrough, you can find it on my channel, Boobypoopers, played all the way through. Thanks for watching. Enjoy the rest of your day, and peace.